And we are back with another review, ladies and gentlemen, and I am surprised we've made it this far at least. I know it's only the third one, but I am damn surprised because you know me and this channel. Things are just not consistent. But we are changing that. We are changing that, and we're not changing that, oh, on the 1st of January, we're gonna change things. No, no, no. I'm starting this year and taking this into next year. So we're gonna continue with that. And with that being said, today's review is New Japan show that I think happened on Sunday, or Monday morning for me, but I think it happened on Sunday for the folks in America. And that was New Japan Strong Style Evolved 2024, with of course the main event of this card being Mercedes Moné taking on Hazuki, which for the New Japan Strong Women's Championship. But we'll get into that. We'll get into that shortly because that match was something else. But let's start with the very first match of the night, and that was Mina Shirakawa. We all know Mina Shirakawa taking on Johnnie Robbie, and I watched, just a bit of background, Mina Shirakawa, we all know she's been on AEW, she's been on Stardom. She is a name within the wrestling community for sure now. Johnnie Robbie, I watched her, it might have been another New Japan Strong card. I can't remember, but I was impressed last time I watched it. This was probably earlier this year, if not last year, before her neck injury, which we'll get into. This is like one of her first matches, from what I understand, since she had a pretty severe neck injury. I don't think it's her very first match, but I think it's one of her first matches since her comeback. So yeah, I was impressed. I was impressed once again. There was a lot of open seats in this throughout this night. That was a little bit disappointing. Because it's always good to see a full arena, even if it's a small arena, a full arena. And there were quite a few open seats, and I'm not sure why, because the card was pretty stacked with names that people in America know. Perhaps it lacked the New Japan names. That could be a thing. I really don't know. But anyway, let's get into it. So the match starts off pretty hot and pretty fast-paced. You know, it gave me the Stardom vibes very early on, with lots of counter wrestling, lots of back and forth, running the ropes, counter wrestling, like I said. And it gave me that Stardom element, and I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. I like how we're starting this, because you got to get the crowd hot in the very first match. Mina Shirakawa was clearly the crowd favorite here, obviously, because of her work in AEW. But the crowd was going at Mina, giving her all the praise, giving her all the cheers that she probably deserves, because she is... You know what it is about Mina Shirakawa that I like? Sorry, this is a little bit of a tangent, but I am doing a review at the end of the day. The thing I like about Mina Shirakawa is she's a decent wrestler, but she gets the entertainment side of things. And sometimes I don't like her form of entertainment, but at the same time, she gets it, which often people coming outside of the US don't quite understand the entertainment side of it. Or not that they don't understand, but they don't... It's not what they need to do in Japan, you know? Japan, it's wrestling first, which is perfectly fine, and that's why I enjoy New Japan sometimes. So the fact that she found a blend between the two and has made it work in America, good on her. Really, really good on her. So a very back and forth match between these two, with neither woman really gaining the advantage at all in this match. Johnnie Robbie, there was a moment where she landed a clean Northern Lights suplex, put it into a bridge, kick out, but she followed it up with either a fisherman or a perfect plex. That might be the same thing. For a 2 count. Really, really cool stuff. Great technical ability to pull off those 2 moves back to back. I like that. Shirakawa then obviously placed a lot of focus on the leg of Johnnie Robbie, because she uses the figure 4 every now and then. And she used the figure 4 to great use, and Johnnie Robbie sold the hell out of that figure 4. Her screaming, you could see she was in like actual pain. Love that. Mina then landed some sort of middle rope like sling blade. I don't really know what it was. I don't know if she's done it before. I may have just missed it, or like maybe it's done slightly differently. She got a 2.99 count there. Really, really, really close. Great near fall. And then Mina lands the glamorous driver and gets the 1, 2, 3. Decent match. I wouldn't say short match, but short within context of this specific card, because a lot of matches went long. Very good opening match. Which after that opening sequence where I said it was reminded me of Stardom, it then slowed down and perhaps lacked a bit of intensity, but then towards the end it picked up again. So it was like start off hot, slow down big time, and then pick up towards the end. Decent match, pretty average match. Nothing wrong, nothing bad. 2.5 stars. You know what this match was? It was, let's get the best out of Mina and let's showcase Mina. And we'll get to why that is important later on. But I gave it, like I said, a nice 2.5 star rating. Then next up, we had a tag team match featuring the Grizzled Young Veterans, which is obviously James Drake and Zack Gibson taking on the West Coast Wrecking Crew, which is Jorel Isaacs and Royce Nelson. And so the story going into this match is that West Coast Wrecking Crew have tried multiple times to get their hands on the New Japan Strong Tag Team titles. Multiple times, but unfortunately have come up short over and over and over. And the question is, can they finally do it this time against the Grizzled Young Veterans? So, James Drake and Isaac start off the match for us. Nice intensity early on with Nelson and Gibson thereafter, because they made tags shortly after that. So, the match started off hot, good intensity, and I was like, okay, this could be really good going on. There was multiple European uppercuts exchange between Nelson and Gibson, like over and over and over and over. And I was like, okay, it's getting a bit much, but at least it's not the typical forearm that you see. You know, it's normally just forearm. European uppercuts change it up a bit, so I'm happy with that. Then after a while, Grizzled Young Veterans build up heat on Royce Isaacs through typical heel tactics, you know, behind the ref's back, pushing him up, choking him up against the ropes, you know, all of that sort of stuff. Great heel work by GYV early on. Okay, and every time you think Isaacs is about to land the hot tag, GYV stops them. This is perfect tag team wrestling. I don't think you guys understand how much I love a match that is executed like this. And one of the recent matches that I can think of where they do this well was, okay, it wasn't recent, I think it was quite a year ago now, but it was that FTR versus Bullet Club Gold match where they just the build up to that hot tag. You know, I'm tired of just getting hot tags and there wasn't any real build. And I don't mean just getting heat on the guy. I mean stopping him from making the tags over and over, where you get this close and you don't get there. That's how you build a tag team wrestling match. And yes, it's an old school style, but for me, it gets the most out of it without... You're not just doing moves and moves and moves. You're getting an emotion out of me as a fan. So I absolutely love that stuff. Eventually, Nelson does get the hot tag and the crowd goes insane, which is exactly what I'm talking about. Nelson then takes out GYV with chop after chop after chop to both men, and then finally lands a double crossbody onto both James Drake and Zack Gibson. Fantastic stuff. There was a nice tag team move which ended with Drake actually locking in a Koji clutch on Gibson, Drake actually locking in a Koji clutch while Gibson is stomping Isaac. So Drake has the Koji clutch and then Gibson is just stomping on Isaac while he's doing this. That is until Isaac eventually fights his way out of it and tosses Drake into Zack Gibson to get his way out of it. Great stuff as well. I absolutely love this match. I don't know if you guys can see my excitement in this match. And it's weird because I don't think people really are going to have the same feeling about this match as I did. So this is just an example of the type of tag team wrestling I really enjoy. Eventually, we've got all four men in the ring. And this is where West Coast Wrecking Crew draw a line down the middle and they say, let's fight. And they just go to war with strikes after strikes after strikes. After a little bit of action back and forth, the ref is distracted, and Drake actually strangles Isaacs with the scarf, which then turns the tides, and they look to land the grit your teeth onto Isaacs. But Nelson grabs Gibson just before he runs in for the grit your teeth, and that allows Isaacs to roll up James Drake for the win. West Coast Wrecking Crew have finally done it. Huge moment for them in the context of New Japan Pro Wrestling and finally getting the title that they've been trying to get over and over and over. And they have finally did it. Huge pop, great moment. Commentary team was fantastic in putting that over as well. I love this match. I honestly loved this match from start to end. And I'll be honest with you, I don't know much about West Coast Wrecking Crew, but they made me freaking care. They made me care so much, which I think that's a perfect compliment for this tag team and for this tag team match. Anyway, so what I have to say about this match, they got me invested with typical standard tag team psychology. Just by working in the ring. Nothing else. They worked in the ring and they got me invested. With that being said, 3.75 stars for this match. No, you know what? Scratch that. 4 stars for this match. I'm going to give this match 4 stars. It's actually the first 4 stars on this channel on the third show. So that shows you I am a bit stricter with my ratings, but I think as long as you're consistent, which I will try to be, and you guys can call me out if I'm not consistent with it. I think if you're consistent, then it's fair. You set your standards of 2.5 is average, between 2.5 and 4 is really, really good, between 4 and 5, match of the year candidates. I think that's fair enough. Anyway, with that being said, fantastic match. Now let's move on to the very next one. We then had TJP taking on KUSHIDA, taking on Clark Connors, and taking on Kosei Fujita in a 4-way match. Basically, these 4 teams are a part of, or these 4 wrestlers are a part of tag teams. So, I think TJP is Catch 22, is that their name? I forget it. I keep getting it wrong. Kushida's obviously with Knight, Clark Connors with Driller Maloney, and Kosei Fujita, I don't even know who he's with right now. I need to catch up on my New Japan. I know he's in TMDK, but I don't know who he's tagging with. Basically, this is to build up their match for, it probably is now Wrestle Kingdom. So, Clark Connors, being the only real heel in this match, starts off with a chair in hand, and he's ready to just lay that thing off on everybody. But they're not having it, and they all just start attacking him straight from the get-go. No chairs being allowed in this match. The crowd was pretty quiet for this match. I don't know why. And it's an American crowd. It wasn't a Japanese crowd, just to put it out there. This crowd was in California. So if it was a Japanese crowd, I understand how Japanese crowds work. They cheer for what they need to cheer. They clap for what they need to clap. But anyway, real quiet. Clark Connors starts dominating early on in this match, though, after a little bit of action, after being beat down. And then starts building up heat as he's the only heel in this match. So basically, he just takes on everybody at different points. Fujita, though, fights back after a little while, and he clears house on all 3 competitors. So each man is kind of getting their moment to shine here early on. I will be honest, I struggled to really make notes for this match because so much was going on. And when so much is going on, like, can you really get into this match? Can you really get excited, emotionally invested? Probably not. Anyway, TJP is left groggy on the apron after an attack from somebody, and Clark Connors basically circles while in the ring, goes round, and then spears TJP out of nowhere. It was like a blindsided spear. That was pretty cool. I've never seen something like that before. I wrote in my notes here, so much action I can't even keep up, which was kind of true. It got to the point where it's just move, with no real heat, no real storytelling, none of that. TJP then lands a double stomp onto Connors, and he locks in a submission, which Fujita tries to stop, but also gets caught into a submission. I think it was kind of like a version of a Umaplata somehow. I don't really know what it was or what it was called, but he locks them both in for a little while until that gets broken up. So after then, a little bit later, Fujita locks in a submission of his own, and it seems like Connor is about to tap, like Clark Connors is about to give up. But nope, TJP rolls up Kushida while Kushida was coming in to break the hold. TJP rolls him up and gets the sneaky win. 1, 2, 3, TJP is your winner. Fast-paced match, not a lot happening in terms of anything of substance. None of that really felt important, which is a little bit disappointing. There was a little bit of a post-match stare down, obviously to build up the fact that these tag teams or these guys are going to go head-to-head in tag team action down the line. And yeah, it was alright. 2.75 stars. I think it's fair. Slightly above average because they did put work in, you know. At no point was it boring. There was just no substance. Put it that way. So 2.75 stars it is. And then we had Lio Rush taking on Hechicero. Now we all know Lio Rush from WWE, from AEW, from New Japan as well. Very accomplished in all 3. Well, did his job in all 3, put it that way. And we've got Hechicero, very accomplished in, I think, CMLL. It's not AAA. It's CMLL. I think. Could be wrong. Anyway, they taking on one another, and this was a complete clash of styles. And not in a bad way. What I mean is it's 2 different styles going against each other. But they do say styles make matches. And I think in this case, it just may have done that. So the story of this match was basically Hechicero is just by far the better technical wrestling, which we all know Hechicero is very technical. So with that being said, every single thing Lio Rush tried for large parts of the match, Hechicero had a counter for. Hechicero had something to answer, whether it was technique or power, because Hechicero is not a small guy, and of course Lio Rush is a lot smaller. And you could actually see Lio Rush getting even more and more frustrated as the match went on due to this. Eventually, though, things kind of break down after like a double boot on the apron, where both men go down, so they kick each other with the double boot. There was a huge springboard clothesline from Hechicero, which gets him the 2 count. So he rolled him back in the ring, did a springboard clothesline. I don't know Hechicero could do that sort of stuff, but he did. Hechicero then locks in some sort of a cloverleaf submission hold of some sort. I don't know what you even call that, but it looked nasty. But Rush works his way out of it. Lio Rush then knocks off Hechicero off the top rope and lands a crossbody with which Hechicero just absolutely no sells. He just no sells, and I think he gives him a lariat thereafter. That did frustrate me because I think Lio Rush is worth more than that. But anyway, then we had a tope suicida from Rush, which then follows it up with a rebound springboard move. Don't even know what you call it. Sorry for that. Lio Rush does crazy things. Sometimes you don't even know what to call these things. But he gets a very close 2 count. Rush then misses with the frog splash and eats a shotgun dropkick that sent him halfway across the ring. Big knee to the face. And then some sort of head scissors takedown move. But like Lio Rush sold the hell out of that and bumped well for that. And that's what got Hechicero the win. If anybody knows what that move is, what it's called, please tell me. The commentators didn't say, and I really don't know what that move is, but it was definitely unique. Not something I'd ever seen really done before. So, very good match with interesting psychology with the fact that Rush was getting so frustrated with Hechicero. I don't know if that kind of buries Rush a little bit in the fact that the offense he got off was minimal, but I don't think so, because he's a much smaller guy. Hechicero is a very good technical wrestler, so it's nothing to really be ashamed of. But very good match. 3.5 stars for me. This is one of the matches of the night, in my opinion, so we'll take that for what it is. 3.5 stars. And then our next match on the card was... He's pronounced, I think it's pronounced Titan, or Titan, or Titan. It's Titan. I'm gonna say Titan because that's how I read. That's how it's spelled. It's Titan. Sorry if I'm upsetting anyone, but it's Titan. Anyway, Titan and Hiromu Takahashi from Los Ingobernables. Oh, my Spanish is not good. Los Ingobernables. That one, LIJ versus Jake Austin Young and Templario from United Empire. Now, Jake Austin Young and Templario are 2 youngsters in United Empire. Okay? And that is because, and the reason they're in this match is because Hanare and I think Luke Jacobs are out injured. So, someone needs to fill in the gap for Great-O-Khan at Wrestle Kingdom, or is it Wrestle Dream? One of the nights. So, the idea is that maybe this is a little bit of a showing for both men, and perhaps one of them could be Great-O-Khan's partner. Like, it's not confirmed that one of them will, but it's a thought going into this match. So, I have never seen anything from Jake Austin Young or Templario. Let's see if they've got anything good. So, Jake Austin Young and Takahashi get things started, but Templario is quick to get the jump on them, and it's clear that United Empire are the straight heels in this match. No 2 ways about it. After a little bit of action, Takahashi then does this like crossboard. You know, like how Braun Strowman runs around the ring with the big shoulder bodge? Yeah, Takahashi's doing the same thing with crossbodies. Typical Takahashi. What can we say? He does that, goes around the ring a couple times, takes both men out. I don't know what you even call that. It was pretty entertaining, I'm not gonna lie. I will be honest. So, United Empire was using like constant heel tactics to get the advantage over LIJ in this match. And that allowed them to actually build some good heat on the much more experienced Takahashi. But once Takahashi gets the tag to Titan, things get real exciting because now we get Titan doing everything he does best. Nice looking springboard moonsault from Titan onto Templario. And just back and forth action that got really exciting. Although That wouldn't last very long, as again, United Empire did well to isolate either member of LIJ. This was a constant theme throughout the match. Just break him down and isolate one of the members. Whoever was in, break them down. Then we get a pretty big assisted springboard splash from Titan by the help of Takahashi. But Templario somehow kicks out of it. I don't know how. I thought that was it done. I went into this match thinking Templario and Jakob Young are not going to win. No ways. Anyway, Templario then lands a powerbomb backbreaker onto Titan and gets the surprise win. They beat them. They beat LIJ, and I was surprised. Really good tag team match, fast-paced action. I enjoyed this, especially when Titan and Templario were in together and they were doing some luchador type stuff. Really, really, really fun stuff. So with that being said, I gave the match 3.25 stars. Thoroughly enjoyed the match. Yeah, there's not more else I can say about this match. Went on a bit long. Now the matches started getting a bit long. Some of them didn't need to be this long, but 3.25 stars, fair enough. And then we moved on to one of my favorite wrestlers in New Japan Pro Wrestling right now, Gabe Kidd taking on... give me a moment here. Ryohei Oiwa. I probably butchered that. I so badly struggled to say this guy's names. So I'm just going to say Oiwa. For the Strong Openweight Championship, which is obviously Gabe Kidd's belt. Like I said, Gabe Kidd is one of my absolute favorites. Just his heel work, his madmanness. He does call himself the madman. He's just so entertaining. And I love his work. But the match starts off quite hesitant. You can see both men not really wanting to go full blast from the very get-go. Which is surprising because Gabe Kidd is normally one to just start off hot. Oiwa gets Kidd in a headlock very early on, and Gabe Kidd can just not get out of this headlock constantly. Tries to get up, tries to shoot off, can't get out. When he does get out, Oiwa is quick to lock in the headlock once again. This was not Gabe Kidd's night, no whatsoever, in terms of that specific headlock. The match then spills to the outside, where Gabe Kidd lands a pretty big lariat, sending Oiwa to the ground, and that turns the tides in Gabe Kidd's favor. It looks like Oiwa might not even get up for the 20 count and get back in the ring, but he eventually does. Like I say, very slow and very methodical start to this match. Gabe Kidd, with his heel work, was doing a lot of sexual remarks, a lot of hand signals that people maybe don't want to see. I felt it was a bit unnecessary at times. He does do this. It does get unnecessary, but he gets heat. So I don't know how to feel about it sometimes. You guys let me know. What do you feel about Gabe Kidd's constant sexual remarks, or his sexual hand gestures, or his whatever that he does to the crowd to build heat? Let me know. We then get a chop battle between both competitors, with neither man really coming out on top of that. They just basically both crumble and both, don't really win the better of that exchange. But Oiwa does land a German suplex, which he bridges into and gets a 2.99 count on Gabe Kidd. I thought the match was over there, but Gabe Kidd kicked out just in time. Later on in the match, we then get a battle of the gut wrenches. So Gabe Kidd looking to land his gut wrench powerbomb, and Oiwa looking to land his gut wrench powerbomb, but neither man can really land it. That's setting up something for the future, of which Oiwa gets his gut wrench powerbomb out of nowhere, makes the pin. You think it's over, but Clark Connors rips the ref out of the ring, and things just break down from here on out. These Bullet Club War Dogs they are annoying, man. They are annoying, but I love them. Connors then grabs a chair early on and beats Oiwa with it before looking to land a DDT onto the chair, but Fujita comes out and makes the save for Oiwa. Pretty cool stuff. Everyone gets back up now, so Oiwa and Gabe Kidd are back up now, and they fight it out. Gabe Kidd lands a pile drive on Oiwa, but Oiwa kicks out at 2.99, once again close near fall. Gabe eventually lands the Madman Bomb and gets the win. 1, 2, 3. He retains his New Japan Strong Openweight Championship. Now, this was a slow and pretty boring match to start, but they definitely built into a hard-hitting and exciting match towards the end. And I get that is the New Japan formula at times, but I think it was a bit too slow in the beginning, especially for a card that has long matches like this. So I gave it 3.25 stars. I'd love to give Gabe Kidd more stars, but we gotta be fair. We really have to be fair. Post-match, Gabe Kidd cuts a promo on Kenny Omega because that is the match for Wrestle Dream. I'm excited for that match. One of my favorites in New Japan right now, and one of my favorites in wrestling going at it. What more can I ask for? What more can I ask for? And then we have some 6-man tag action between TMDK, which is Zack Sabre Jr., Bad Dude Tito, and Shane Haste, taking on Shota Umino, Fred Rosser, and Tom Lawlor. First question. What the I'm not going to swear, was Tom Lawlor wearing? What was he wearing? He was wearing some sort of Santa outfit, I guess, bright red pants, like, then the spandex thing, is that what you call it, spandex? The white straps, terrible outfit from Tom Lawlor, and spoiler alert, that's why you got pinned, buddy, that's why you got pinned. Was he the one that took the pin? I don't even, yeah, he was, okay, I just had to make sure I didn't make myself look like an idiot there. So, Zack Sabre Jr. and Shota Umino start things off for us. They go a little bit back and forth before tagging in Tom Lawlor and Shane Haste. So, obviously, we know Zack Sabre Jr. and Shota Umino are going to be fighting it out at Wrestle Kingdom for the World Heavyweight Championship. I'm excited for that match. I don't know who I want to win that match. I know the New Japan fans know who they want to win. Not Shota. That's all I'm saying. Nice grappling from Tom Lawlor and Shane Haste. Good old-fashioned amateur wrestling grappling that they did there. You know, this match had a lot of pretty standard 6-man tag action. And I think this was one of the weaker matches of the night in terms of star power versus what they were able to do. The match wasn't completely bad. It was still very good. In fact, it was way above average. But I think for the level of stars that they had in this match, maybe we could have had a little bit of a better match. Fred Rosser then finally gets a little bit of offense off and lands a gutbuster before tagging in Shota Umino. This was after a bit of heat onto Fred Rosser. Shota then lands a fisherman suplex onto Haste for a 2 count, but Haste obviously, 2 counts, kicks out. Zack Sabre Jr. comes in and looks to damage the arm of Shota. This is obviously, could potentially be trying to leave him injured for their match at Wrestle Kingdom, which is only, what's the date today? Less than 3 weeks away at this point, so maybe that's what he was trying to do. Then we got to see some proper action between Shota Umino and Zack Sabre Jr. before their Wrestle Kingdom 19 match. So a little bit of a teaser there for us. Power slam from Rosser, and then Lawlor goes to the top and tries to land a splash of some sort, but falls off. Just falls off the top of the rope. Falls to the ground. Anyway, he gets back up, finishes the spot, but he made Tito look way too stupid because Bad Dude Tito was just sitting there waiting for it, all groggy. It's like, come on, guy, come on. Zack Sabre Jr. then finally lands the Zack drive onto Umino, but they are not the legal men, so that's a little bit of a psychology thing. Tito then powers out of a guillotine attempt by Tom Lawlor, and he puts him into a big vertical suplex, and you think, okay, vertical suplex. Nope, turns him around, drops him into a pile driver. Nasty finish. With that being said, I gave the match a 3-star rating. Pretty well deserved. Like I said, it was above average, decent, but just building towards Wrestle Kingdom, and that's pretty much it. But that's fine. That's really fine. Then in our semi-main event, or is this a co-main event? I doubt it's a co-main event. We had Jack Perry and Konosuke Takeshita because apparently the Elite and Don Callis family formed a little bit of a deal for this match, and that's why these two are teaming up, and they are taking on L.I.J., Shingo Takagi, and Yota Tsuji. So we realize quickly that Jack Perry wants nothing to do with Yota Tsuji early on, and just tags in Takeshita straight away. He wants nothing to do with Yota Tsuji, and of course they have a match coming up. I think at Wrestle Dream is their match, and of course I think Takeshita is facing Shingo at Wrestle Dream as well. That is a dream match for me. It might have happened in the G1. I know Takeshita wrestled a lot of people in the G1 that would have been dream matches, including Yota Tsuji, who had a fantastic match. Just saying. But things pick up between Konosuke and Shingo as Konosuke lands a huge flying clothesline. I love that move. I always think of Undertaker when he does that. I just want to point out something. People might not like this, but Jack Perry looks tiny in this match. Think about it. You got Yota Tsuji, Konosuke Takeshita, and Shingo Takagi. They are not small people, and Jack Perry looked like absolutely tiny in this match. Anyway, Perry grabs Tsuji out of the ring, pulls him to the outside and just starts ramming him from barricade to barricade. So basically, whenever 2G has his back turned away from Jack Perry, that's when Jack Perry takes advantage and starts to do some damage to Yoda 2G. Eventually, Takeshita just absolutely puts down Shingo Takagi with a huge elbow shot. You know, that thing Takeshita does all the time. Takeshita then goes for a big knee on Shikagi, but Shikagi catches it and turns it into a dragon screw. Great stuff. So it got to the point where Takeshita didn't want to tag in Jack Perry either. But he got pushed into the turnbuckle and Jack Perry tagged himself in and took advantage of a downed Shingo Takagi. Shingo then gets the hot tag to 2G, who comes in and just obliterates Jack Perry, and the crowd seemed to enjoy that a lot. Jack Perry was getting a lot of heat in this match, like a lot of heat. Fantastic back and forth action, which ends in a poison rana by Konosuke Takeshita, which Shingo then follows up with a lariat, and Konosuke lands the big running knee, but he couldn't get the pin. Perry and 2G tag in. Perry lands a low blow to Yoda 2G, followed by a running knee, and gets the win. This man has got so much hate in New Japan right now because those boos were flying around. Jack Perry somehow gets the win of Yoda 2G. Decent match, served its purpose. I now want to see both these matches happen. That's what this match did, which is perfect. That's all you can ask for. For me, this match earned itself a 3.75 stars. I don't think we can look at it any other way. It was fantastic. It was really, really good. There was then a post-match beatdown by Takeshita and Perry, but on obviously Shingo and Yoda 2G. But Hiromu Takahashi comes in and makes the save. That is until the Young Bucks come out of nowhere and get rid of Takahashi. The Young Bucks are back. They disappeared from wrestling after they lost their AEW World Tag Team Championships, but they are back in New Japan. Jack Perry looks a little bit confused, like, and upset. I'm not sure what that is. We'll find out, I'm sure, in weeks to come. And then the Young Bucks cut a promo and challenge the IWGP Tag Champions at Wrestle Dream. Interesting stuff. We got the Young Bucks back. Young Bucks, Kenny Omega on the same card in New Japan or in Japan. Feed me that nostalgia, even though I don't even like the Young Bucks. Feed it to me. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this match now. The main event. We have Mercedes Moné taking on Hazuki for the New Japan Women's Strong Championship. Now, this match, I will tell you now, was absolutely fantastic. I will tell you now, was the best women's match I've seen this entire year. The entire year. If you see our Stomp Awards, that will probably come out on the Stomp Wrestling channel probably later this week, you will know I picked this match. I haven't even done the Stomp Awards. We're recording it the same night I'm recording this. And I'm telling you now, that match is going to be my match. My women's match of the year. So you guys get a little spoiler for that. Fantastic. So there's a story of Hazuki losing a lot of big matches going into this. She can never quite get the big win that she's been looking for. Kind of similar to the West Coast Wrecking Crew early on in the night. So nice strong lockup from both women early on in this match. Multiple times, in fact. Sometimes it's so annoying when you see two people put in a lockup and it doesn't look like they're even struggling or fighting one another. They just locked up. These two absolutely locked up and you could see the struggle. And I thought, okay, we're in for something here. We are in for something here. Mercedes Moné showing her lucha libre skills early on, walking the rope, doing the flips, doing the arm drags, doing everything lucha libre. And you can see she's been learning a lot. And we saw that when she did a head scissors spin into her statement maker very, very early on into the match. And I was like, okay, Mercedes is here to play. She's not here to play. She's here to work. Hazuki then turns the tides later on after she gets out of the statement maker with a DDT to Monet, which she follows up with multiple power slams thereafter. Both women are working nice and stiff, leaving absolutely no room for error in this match. I will be honest, they look like they were hitting each other for real at times, which I'm not going to complain too much. Mercedes then lands double knees into the collar, followed by a Meteora, but she only manages a 2 count. Hazuki dodges an attack from Mercedes and turns it into a DDT on the apron, which she follows up with 3 tope suicidas thereafter, which leaves Mercedes out of the ring, only managing to get into the ring at a count of 19. Remember, New Japan, 20 counts on the outside. Hazuki then wastes no time and lands a springboard drop kick for a 2 count, but then quickly transitions into the crossface after the 2 count. This match had everything. It had everything from lucha libre style, high flying, technical wrestling, hard strikes. Everything. Absolutely everything. Mercedes then reverses the crossface into a statement maker, which is then reversed back into a crossface until Mercedes Moné finally gets to the ropes. So back and forth submissions there. We then get Mercedes dodges an attack by Hazuki and hits the 3 amigos, followed by a big frog splash, and Hazuki kicked out at 2.99. But Mercedes then quickly transitions into the statement maker once again. So this match was just action, 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 guys. Non-stop action. So during a fight on the top rope, Hazuki lands what commentary call a brainbuster, but it was more like a superplex. And then Hazuki locks in what was a crossface turned into the Rings of Saturn on Mercedes, but Mercedes just barely gets to the ropes. And that looked like it was almost... It was touch and go for Mercedes there for a moment. Really good stuff. Then Hazuki lands a senton from the top rope, or she goes to land the senton, but misses as Mercedes Moné gets out the way. But that doesn't stop Hazuki from landing a code breaker, and then land the senton, but Mercedes Moné kicks out at the very last second, and the crowd is absolutely loving this. They are going insane, stomping their feet, cheering, absolutely loving this match. Hazuki then lands a diving code breaker again, and Mercedes kicks out at the last possible moment. Once again, just near fall after near fall after near fall, guys. Mercedes Moné avoids the brainbuster and lands a backstabber on her own, only to get a near fall. Mercedes then goes and lands 2 backstabbers, followed by a powerbomb, but Hazuki kicks out, so Mercedes lands the moneymaker, and it doesn't quite hit. It was a little bit of a I would say, botched moneymaker, but it's fine, because Hazuki got her foot on the rope. I thought if that was the finish, I was going to be like, oh no, such a good match ruined by a finish. But no, she got her foot on the rope, and it just made the match even better. Hazuki then avoids another moneymaker and rolls up Mercedes, and the crowd goes absolutely mad when she rolls her up, because they think Hazuki is about to get the win, but she kicks out. And I must say, the crowd is split in this match. The crowd is split. This is not a full Mercedes Moné crowd. This crowd is split. Thereafter, Mercedes Moné lands the moneymaker out of nowhere and gets the win. And this was an absolutely fantastic match. I loved it. Women's match of the year for me. And I'm just going to say it. Drum roll, please. Do my own drum roll because I'm not in the mood to edit. 5 stars. That was a 5-star match. And that is the first 5-star on this channel. For the current timeline, that is. Absolutely fantastic match. Mercedes Moné and Hazuki can be proud of themselves for that match. They really, really can. With that being said, that is the end of this pay-per-view. And with that being said, that is the end of this review. Decent show all around, but the main event will be remembered for a very, very, very long time. 5 stars. Absolutely fantastic. And yeah, we'll see you guys next time. Either going to be Starcade 83, or it might be ROH's final battle. I'll see how I feel. With that being said, we'll see you guys next time. Take care. Peace.